So you end up with a problem. So this is Molly Shannon, not the Molly that's referred to as Molly. It's often described as a pure form of MDA. This is highly questionable. So the term Molly comes from molecule, and that cule part just isn't very cool, so they just made it Molly. And it's basically a powder form of MDMA. That's if what the guy selling you is not lying to you, okay? Because it turns out this is relatively expensive to make. And drug dealers, while they're great at marketing, they're also pretty good at economics. And it turns out if you can substitute something that's not an expensive thing for something, you put it in instead and sell it as Molly, then you're going to do that, because it turns out they can't go to the Better Business Bureau and be like, oh, he sold me bad Molly. Like, they just can't do that. So often other stuff gets substituted, including things that are like bath salts and other stuff, and sold as Molly, okay? So while it is true that this is a fairly pure form of MDMA if it's sold as Molly, it's often the case that what's actually bought on the street is not actually MDMA. These are also incredibly concentrated, so it's much harder dosing. It's in a powder form as opposed to the standard pills that a lot of people take for X. And so because of that, it's really, really hard for people to figure out how much they're dosing, and it often leads to incredibly high overdoses